Oh hey, welcome back to the vlog. It is Gabriel's birthday today, so we are going out to town, to the beach, to the pool to go and celebrate and wish Gabe a happy birthday. But also, I am now apparently a 35mm film shooter. We'll talk about that just now.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it.
Okay, cool. I just dropped some film off at Cape Film Supply to have it developed and scanned because I want to include some of that, those stills in a YouTube video that I shot last week. So hopefully to include that in that video over there. Okay, cool. We've got to go to Gabe's place now. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, weather is very weird here in Clifton. I don't know if it's some kind of low pressure thing, but the clouds are all like hanging like over the water, so you can't like really see onto the horizon at all. It looks like there's mist everywhere. Like, can you see like the whole sky is like white because it's like misty. Very weird.
So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Okay, shout out to Granadilla Swim for this lekker bikini. I smack the color, like the contrast of blue on this beautifully orange skin is just incredible. So, I mean, so the focus of my work for a long time has been filmmaking specifically, and while that's been going really amazingly, one of the things that I've tried to get into is photography, which are kind of related fields, but not quite. I struggle quite a bit with photography, and especially with digital. There is something about digital that's like too sharp, too crisp, too clean that I don't like. And so for a very long time I had sort of resigned myself that I'd never be like a good or great photographer specifically. And so I focused all of my energy on, I guess, video work and kind of trying to up my game with cinematography and all of that kind of stuff. And then some time went by, and as part of my learning about filmmaking, I thought it might be valuable and useful for me to start dabbling a bit in photography, to try and, like, you know, upskill myself in terms of composition, in terms of lighting. And photography is really amazing for teaching you about that. But I didn't want to shoot digital. I tried and I didn't like it. And so I was like, you know what? I am gonna shoot film, because every memory that I have of my childhood, like when I was growing up, my dad would film like everything. We used to do like these little home videos. My dad used to take photos all of the time, and so much of my childhood I see through the lens of photography. Like, I experience it through that film lens. I mean, you know, I'm in my 30s, so this is like the early 90s, where I have all these photos from my childhood. I should actually get in touch with my dad and ask him about those photos, because I really should get my hands on them, because they were really awesome. Another thing that's amazing about film photography is that it has an aesthetic that is very different from digital, where digital is super clean, super sharp, super focused. There is something nostalgic about the way that we perceive and read film. I mean, like, if I think about the word photograph, that's what pops into my mind. It's those old photographs of, you know, family, of memory, of nostalgia, of remembering. And that's what I wanted to do with photography specifically. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this. So I did a whole bunch of homework, and it is a rabbit hole. Film photography is like this deep rabbit hole that I was like nerding out on for like weeks, trying to get a grip on the medium, trying to get a feel for cameras and what would be like, you know, the best kind of starter that I could get for myself and where to, I guess, position myself in terms of photography. And so I settled on the Pentax K1000, which is widely known as the student's camera. So I found this really great guy who sells like cameras, like vintage cameras, on Facebook and at the Milton market specifically, and he had a like in mint condition Pentax K1000. So when the Pentax K1000 was first produced, it was manufactured in Japan and then subsequently had moved over to China for production. And in the move from Japan to China, historically the K1000 was made out of like these metal components. So it was a completely like metal, very solidly built analog camera. And then when production moved over to China, the parts then started being made from plastic, which wasn't so great. So the K1000s that are made in China are like really light, and there's nothing wrong with them, but there is something about that metal, heavy, weighty feel to the K1000s from that were manufactured in Japan. And this guy had one from Japan, and it looks gorgeous. And so here's the defining thing about film photography that I think sets it apart from digital, and why it, for me, in my mind, will always win. Because when you snap that photograph, that's the one that is burnt into the negative forever. Like, there are no redos, there are no retakes. You can't like shoot, you know, 100, I mean you can, but it's like gonna cost you a fortune, because you can't just, you know, snap 10 billion photos of it. Is that in each photograph there is a degree of care that is put in when you're pressing that shutter button, and that in combination with the very textural aesthetic that film specifically gives, like it's untouchable. So hopefully on this channel you'll see more and more kind of photographs that I've taken on 35mm film and kind of interweave them into the vlogs here on the channel. So let me know if you want to see more of that. I'd really be keen to hear your thoughts around how you feel about film photography and how you're feeling about that versus digital. Yes, this Gabe's house is incredible. This pool is so amazing. I'm gonna spend like the whole day lumming here. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you are not already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on for notifications to stay in the loop for upcoming videos. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Ciao.